So great to see you all here on the second day of MDC 2025. I'm sure you're having a wonderful time. As we get close to the end of the sessions for day 2, I thought I'd entertain you a bit. Although we'll talk about magic, I won't perform any magic tricks on stage, not this time. But since we're at mid-October, we get foggy mornings, we get spooky Halloween decorations everywhere. You can kind of feel it in the air, but it's the season of the witch, right? And what's a better way to celebrate it than learning about the witchcraft of coding for experimentation? All right, let's go. My name is Elena Cotar, and I'm a supreme experimentation witch, or how would non-magical people call it. I'm a senior CRO developer at Orange Systems. Some starter notes. As I try to blend my two passions in this presentation, what I do at my job and the Harry Potter universe, you will see some references to the movies here and there. And as for this QR code, it's going to be on every slide. You can scan it whenever you want, even wait until the presentation is over. All right, what we'll talk about? We'll explore the magical realm of CRO and A/B testing. I'll also show you some true stories behind the scenes. And if you have any questions, we have the Telegram channel. You can leave them as a comment under the post with this presentation. All right, let's go. For the next part, I want you to look at the screen. I will present one by one some logos of services. And if you are a user of a service, please clap your hand. All right, let's go. What about Netflix? Okay, Google, Meta, LinkedIn, all right, Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, and Booking. Okay, thank you. So now, what do all these companies have in common? Just like myself, they do A/B testing, actually lots of it. So next time you enter their websites or you use their apps, just try and notice if you see anything unusual, like it's not always been there, because I assure you we are already in a test group. You just have to be more careful and notice it. As for this part, it comes from my personal a bit traumatic experience of presenting myself to people and having to explain what does my job title mean and what kind of a unicorn I am. So first of all, CRO stands for conversion rate optimization, and it has nothing to do with search engine optimization. As a CRO dev, I build tests. I do A/B testing, yet it has absolutely nothing to do with quality assurance. And when we see companies such big as Google or Meta doing A/B testing, we can just assume that it has to be very expensive. In fact, it's not. It helps us cut costs and make more money. And for the best part, A/B testing is risky. I would say that it's actually the other way around. It's risky to not do any A/B testing when, in fact, you can. Now, let's see some truths behind it all. This is a sorting hat from Harry Potter. It does just that. It sorts newly come students into different Hogwarts houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Well, A/B testing works exactly like that. We have our users on the website, and we sort them into different digital parallel realities on a random basis. Now, let's imagine that we have a 4-step checkout flow as our control, the website as it is. And then alternatively, we have a full-page checkout as the variation. So control and variation, you get the idea behind the A and B. Now, when we see how users act in these specific variations, we can compare the data and extract some useful information. And we test what's working for them and what's not. But why do we need to do all this? We do this to improve the conversion rate. Picture yourself as these Hogwarts students. You are roaming the halls of Hogwarts. Suddenly you stumble upon these beautiful cupcakes. So imagine this as a product section of a website. Now, the aim of CRO is to bewitch these specific cupcakes in such a way that it makes them irresistible for you. So it nudges you to buy them, to taste them, and eventually to come for more. And we are not just observing this specific part of a journey. We are actually observing the entire user journey from the beginning till the end and collecting different kinds of data. We can come up with better informed decisions for the future. What do we do? What do we get? How we serve better for our users? But to do it all right, first we need the hypothesis. We need to know what exactly do we want to change on the website in the control experience, how it will improve it, and how exactly would we measure it. Example of a hypothesis. We believe that changing the icing color of the cupcakes will nudge more students to buy them, measured in cupcakes sold. Pretty straightforward. One thing to remember about hypothesis is that you cannot change it whenever you want. If you started a test with a strict hypothesis, it should stay till the end, even though your test might not be performing really well. Next point are the metrics. You should always have one primary metric, as for example, orders completed. But you can have as many relevant secondary metrics as you wish in order to collect complex data and know where you stand with your users. All the variations that you have on the website, so control and one or multiple variations you serve, should be run simultaneously. This is very important, not sequentially, but simultaneously, because we want to get the same outside context for our users to be able to compare the data later on. And last but not least, you can't rely on a test data unless it reached its statistical significance. Basically, we need to know that the test has run for a long period of time. We should be careful that we have enough traffic, enough visits for each variation, and enough metrics registered. Now, a Harry Potter case study, a life or death situation from the third part, The Prisoner of Azkaban. We have our control, the original timeline, where unfortunately both of these characters die. And we wouldn't want to do that, right? So we have Harry and Hermione use the time turner to go back in time, do some adjustments without interfering hugely with the timeline, and we get to save both of them. So, great result. You can see that in control we have 2 lives lost, and in variation we have 2 lives saved. So it's a definitely test-win result. But going back to reality, we should remember this. Without A/B testing, there's a 50-50% chance that what you do on the website is actually right for you and your users, whereas with A/B testing, you get the results up to 95% confidence level. And this leads us accurately to the value of experimentation. So, if you actively do A/B testing, you manage to lower the risks. It means that when you roll out new features on the website, if you test it first and see if it goes well, it's a much lower risk than just pushing it to production and that's it. Then, of course, you gather a lot of data, and you can be certain in your results. Apart from it, measuring and observing the entire user journey, you can make more informed decisions and take better decisions later, because A/B testing doesn't stop at just the first test win. It's an ongoing process. It should be run continuously. And instead of using paid media, we actually get the most out of the already existing traffic and users we have, and it kind of helps us reduce the cost per acquisition and increase the average revenue per user. Last but not least, I want you to think what even 1% uplift in orders for companies like Google or Netflix could mean in revenue. It's huge, it's super impactful. And this is why experimentation is so powerful. Now back to the question, what kind of a unicorn I am? CRO devs are actually wizards because we take an already existing code of the website and we do some experimentation magic. We build an extra layer of code upon that. At times, it can be really challenging, but at the same time, I would say that this is a hugely creative process, and this is why I love most about this job. Now, if you ever consider switching to CRO development, this is your starter pack. You have to be good at web development, know how to manage A/B testing tools, and be familiar with React. Because in order to transform some components, you have to know what they are and what they do first. Then over time, you get to acquire this knowledge. And it looks quite fancy, and believe me, it is. Okay, now that we have the knowledge and the technology, let's see what should we take care of when we create experiments. Picture yourself as a ninja, or maybe you're Harry Potter who's wearing the invisibility cloak. Better yet, you should be the ninja with the invisibility cloak, because whatever you do on the website, you should be not seen, you should be not spotted, and all you do must feel seamless. Then, God forbid, if you start any transformations before everything is actually in place. So you should be invisible, but the elements on the website should be there for sure. Then, whatever your magic is, it should feel like it's always been there. It should feel absolutely natural and not disturb the journey. This is the part where mutation observers come in handy, because some React components could still misbehave and we gotta do some damage control. You should be reactive and not overreact at the same time. Why is that? Because sometimes the core routing logic could be really challenging and changing, and you have to adapt accordingly. And last but not least, while you do all of the above, just try and not break anything else on the website. It's really important. And you should remember this about crafting experiments. The creative genius lies in building something so sophisticated it feels seamless, just like pure magic. Now, the Dear Diary moment, where I cannot express what it feels like to be a CRO developer. Okay, before sharing my personal experience, I want you to remember a very important thing. This is the philosophy behind A/B testing. We don't test to win, we test to learn. Whenever your test doesn't perform well, you should not take it personally, because it could really break you. Okay, earlier this year, I have to build a test on this component. A bit of a context, these are the product cards for the B2C segment of a UK broadband provider. People come on the website, they choose their package, place the order. Since I'm a witch, I had to use my magic wand, the code, of course, and I had to transform those cards into this. And actually to make 4 variations of it, with different colors, different placement of the elements. Seems like a redesigned ticket. So it's styling, it's easy, right? Yes and no, because this is one of the most complicated and complex components of a website. And the state management moments and re-rendering what happens on the page when interacting with this component is just level insane. So you have to take care of a lot of things. But I did. And I managed to do that in just one day. I felt invincible. I reconfirmed my unofficial working title of Flash for being super fast, and I thought that I own the world. Little did I know that later on there are gonna be a lot of changes that will determine me to rebuild this test multiple times. New marketing campaigns, new components rollouts. It all went to hell from time to time, so I had to redo the work. Now I want you to think of a number of times I had to rebuild this specific test. Just make a mental note. Is this the number you had in mind? Unlucky 13? Because this is exactly how many times I had to rebuild this specific test. And although it might feel frustrating, that's actually what I really enjoy about this whole process. It makes you a better specialist because you learn on the go. There are new things, you just adapt. And for me, this is supreme. Before we get to the assessment part, let's recap what we have so far. Not any optimization is search engine optimization. CRO stands for conversion rate optimization. Rather than guesswork, A/B testing is actually a scientific method. Behind every experience or experiment you witness, there are CRO witches and wizards just casting spells. The whole philosophy behind A/B testing is in learning rather than winning. CRO wizardry is something real. It's happening, and it's a very special blend. And of course, now knowing all about it. Are you watching closely? Okay, so now to the readiness assessment. This is kind of a cheat sheet for assessing your readiness level. Think of it this way. If you have at least 1 million visitors per month on your website, you are in the green zone, the enterprise level, and you are golden. You just should do it. Now, if you're not sure where you stand, take this checklist, and if you have access to your data, you can do it even today. Just go through these points and check what's your level. And if you're enterprise level, or you know that you're already at it, you just have to, well, not have to, but you can do all of this starting next week and let your experimentation journey begin. Thank you all for your attention. Here you have the QR code again. You can use it to download this presentation, connect with me on LinkedIn, or leave some feedback, which will be much appreciated. This is my first time at MDC as a speaker, so it makes it very special to me. Thank you once again.